This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Elly De La Cruz! Where you at, people? Talk that talk, Elly De La Cruz. You guys are in the comments all the time. I get stuff all the time. I got to defend this guy left and right. And today, Elly De La Cruz said, flex on him, because Elly De La Cruz leads a double win in the comeback. Good evening, Reds fans. Welcome to the Postcast, brought to you by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Tim Daniel, and we're going to celebrate Elly De La Cruz's first career walk-off single as the Cincinnati Reds do win Game 2 of the doubleheader. On tonight's show, we're going to discuss how to use Elly the rest of the way. TJ Friedl can't get a hit. Rhett Louder was awesome. Emanuel really impressed us all today. And we're going to start the show with the man of the day, besides Elly De La Cruz, Dane Myers.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
All right, before I get into Dane Myers, I just want to say that every single day, we get comments on the channel about Elly De La Cruz. He's not a superstar. Or we get comments like, he needs to play in the outfield. Or let's see, the other one is, he just always has an error. He was awesome tonight in the doubleheader. He was not good in the first game. I mean, he had a sombrero. He was a lot better in the second game. But I will say this: appreciate him. Appreciate him. And yes, I did say he needed to sit tonight. I will eat that crow and I will enjoy that crow. But let's get to Dane Myers, because today was Dane Day. Today was Dane Day. And it was double Dane, right? 2 homers. Huge day for him. He's the only offense in the first game. In the second game, he hits the homer to tie the game in the 9th to send it to extras, which leads to Elly there as well. But dude, the launch angle on that second homer, that was insanity. I've seen a lot of homers in GABP, but it's been like the big guys, right? The Dunners, the Genos, the Griffeys, the Vados, the Bruces. Dane Myers got that power in him, man. And that was insane. That launch angle was crazy. What a fun night. I mean, the Reds are down, 4-1? Rhett Louder kind of looks like he's not going to get into the 7th inning. Buckles down. We're going to get to Rhett Louder later. And they find a way to get back in the game. They tie the game up, and then the Cardinals score another run. You're like, and it's just the typical, the Reds always find a way to lose to the Cardinals, right? And then Dane Myers comes through with his second homer of the day. And I loved Sadek's call of, there needs to be a special place for Dane Myers' bat tonight, because that was a great day for him. I've said it. You guys have all said it. That dude needs to play center field every day over TJ Friedl. And we're going to get to Friedl later and just all that jazz. But that's got to be one where, the Reds needed that, right? They had lost 3 games in a row going into tonight. They lost that series in the Marlins when they won Game 1 and really just were terrible yesterday. That guy is no longer on the team. See you, Ron. It was nice to know you. But they just, they needed this one against the Cardinals in the division and made it a pretty interesting game and found a way to win this one. And we have not said a lot of that this year, right? This is probably the best one of the year up to this point. I'm sure someone will come up with one that says I'm wrong, and that's fine. We can all celebrate wins, whichever one it is. I don't care. When the Reds win, it's a good day. And Dane Myers contributes big in both games. I love it. I love it. That kid's special. Especially as a pinch hitter. Has this knack when he comes off the bench. If you remember the first win of the year, he had a walk-off single. He ties the game tonight with a homer. And there's other moments I can't think of at the moment, but I'm sure there is some in there that someone else can bring up. This is what we love to see, man. This is why baseball rules. Dane Myers, excellent day. 2 incredible homers. They lose 2-1 in Game 1. Dane Myers is the one. They're down 5-4 in the 9th inning. He comes to the pinch hit, gets a homer to tie the game up and go to extras. it was really nice to see. But yeah, really, really solid day to be him, and that was awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and do a double dipper for X Factor because I'm going to talk about both starters in the doubleheader today. But we're going to start with Ken Emanuel because even though he got designated for assignment right after the game, I mean, he gave the Reds something that none of us thought he had.
It's time to reveal who made the biggest under-the-radar impact with today's X Factor.
Let's talk about this because when you all saw Kent Emanuel was going to be starting game one of the doubleheader, I'm sure you, like me, went, who? And I suspected it was going to be one of these things, doubleheaders are always tricky where, especially for a guy that was playing an independent ball not too long ago, and that no one really, like I said, I know baseball pretty well as far as players on rosters, contrary to what some people will come in the comments and tell you, but I had no idea who this guy was. And he goes out there and throws 5 really good innings. First 2 batters of the day, obviously gives up the run. It seems like it's like, maybe that's not going to be great. And then he goes out there and buckles down, gets through 5 innings. And obviously, I know he got designated for assignment. Hopefully, he clears waivers and goes back to Louisville, stays in the Reds system. I have to imagine that's going to be the case. But I got to give that guy all the respect in the world for going out there and pitching as well as he did, because the Reds absolutely needed that today. So he ends up going 5. Gives them a chance to win. I mean, as you're the starting pitcher, that's all you can ask for, right? Give your team a chance to win. Luis May comes in and just gets those bullets. He looked great. I mean, the fastball, you could see how good that was. So they go from Kent Emanuel, who's throwing like, 80, 86, 87, maybe 9, topping out at 90, has 4 strikeouts. And then Luis May goes out there, strikes out the side, throwing 98 past people. And you can tell, it kind of see St. Louis is like adjusting their brain to like what is going on right now. The bullpen was really good the rest of that game. Pierce Johnson gets a solid inning. Sam Maul gets a solid inning, which we haven't been able to say that a lot this year. But really nice to see. And then Rhett Louder. So I know it's not going to go as a quality start. Quality starts aren't everything by a stretch of the matter. But he was really, really good. Like, I know 4 runs is 4 runs, and that's not great, but I thought he threw the ball really well today. 6 2/3, has 4 earned runs in the game, does have 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, does give up a single. But yeah, I thought he did a really good job. He got into the 7th inning. And that's all you can ask for of him. Brock Burke, I know, gives up the go-ahead run for the Cardinals, and I know that's not great, but ending a 3rd with 3 strikeouts, I think we'll take that. How about Zach McCambley? A guy who has been up and down, has like really kind of had to fight his way into the big leagues, got traded to the Reds this year for Reese Hines, who I think is already on another team from Miami. Is it Baltimore? I think Baltimore has a way of getting guys right now. By the way, don't look up CES numbers if you don't know. It's only going to bum me out more about the front office. But Zach McCambley gets 2 strikeouts in his inning as well. And then Emilio Pagan, man, he was awesome. I can't believe how good he's been. It shocks me every time he goes out there and he's just dynamite. That was a really, really nice day for the bullpen. So backing up both Emanuel and Louder, they were great. Would the bullpen give up 1 run in 2 games today? What more can you ask for? Really, really, really solid day for those guys. So shout out Kent Emanuel, shout out Rhett Louder, and shout out the bullpen for that excellent game. We're going to go ahead and take the first break, and then I'm going to come back and like, I hate to do this, but we're going to talk about TJ Friedl. But first, a big thank you to our friends at Amazon for this limited break. This back-to-school season, spend less on your kids with Amazon. We all know how crazy the back-to-school shopping experience can be. It starts with a few items on the list, then suddenly you're shopping for supplies, clothes, lunch gear, tech, and about 10 other things you didn't see coming. It adds up fast. When you look at the school supply list and wonder if you're shopping for one child or opening a small office supply store. I didn't realize first grade required this much inventory. Shopping like this can get out of control if you're not careful. When the school says your child needs a calculator, headphones, tablet for class, and somehow you're buying another one before the semester is halfway over. Since when do kids need so much tech for 3rd grade? So remember, with Amazon's low back-to-school prices, just spend less on your kids, because every dollar you don't spend on them is a dollar you haven't spent on them. Shop back to school at Amazon and spend less on your kids. Thank you to all our everydayers as they hang out with us tonight and we discuss the Cincinnati Reds having an unreal win and a kind of frustrating loss in game 1 of the doubleheader, but a nice win into game 2. But if you are an everydayer, let's go ahead and shout out the Everydayer Club and go ahead and get some time in there as well. So if you are an Everydayer Club, it'll be $5 a month or $50 a year. Get access to ad-free episodes of all your favorite Locked On shows, and you also get access to our Discord chat as well. So it was nice to see and have you guys all hanging out. But let's go ahead and get to some more things because this TJ Friedl thing is kind of concerning.
Since hindsight is always 20/20, let's deliver today's second guess.
If you don't have it in front of you, does anyone know the last time TJ Friedl legitimately had a hit? Like legitimately reached base on a base hit this year? I'll give you a clue. It was before the All-Star break. It was July 11th against the Cubs. Since they broke from the All-Star break, TJ Friedl does not have a hit. And you can go ahead and say the case. Yes, Greg, July 11th. You can go ahead and give me the case he doesn't play every day. That's fine. You still got to get a hit sometime. And he has not done that. I don't know how the Reds can keep sending him out there. And I don't want to just spend a whole thing on this where we just kind of complain because this was a really, really good day for the Reds in that ninth game. But man, it just gets worse and worse and worse. They have so many players right now especially between like Friedl and Ke'Bryan Hayes, where they're just kind of under 500 OPS. Like if you're we say 750 is league average. I think 650 says you're a major leaguer. And he's about almost 200 points underneath that. So this is one of these ones where I can't believe that he still gets shots the way he does. And look, he spent time in AAA Louisville this year. You could have kept him there. And they still just go out there and try to get him out there. I don't know how he keeps getting these opportunities, like I said, but yet he keeps getting the opportunities. And it's been really, really bad. It doesn't even look like he's out there doing anything and he's not contributing at all. He's a fine fielder. He made some nice catches over the weekend, but I don't know how you keep doing it, man. I just don't know. And they got to figure something out with him. Let's talk about Hector Rodriguez real quick before we get to the rest of the show. Got his first career RBI, 2 RBI on that. I know he's looked overmatched. I still have a lot of confidence he's going to be good. There's that foul ball he rips. And it sounded really loud off the bat. At first sound, I thought it was going to be his first career homer. It obviously ended up not being, but it feels like that's coming pretty quick. He obviously led the bats and homers this year. And I know we can go ahead and say that doesn't mean everything because Evan Arroyo's got 14 home runs in Louisville and couldn't sniff the wall in the majors this year. So that kind of stuff isn't very ideal. But shout out to those guys. Awesome day. Had a lot of fun. Matt McLean got another hit today. I'm open to this, and we're going to talk about this in the next segment. So let's talk about Elly De La Cruz here because obviously I celebrated the beginning. But kind of just want to get into different ways you can use him the rest of the year.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Oh, Pierre said I totally forgot. Tolio got his first Reds RBI. That was a rip. I don't know. I like that guy. I think he's going to be all right with the Reds, even if it's just finishing the year. I think it's going to be all right. So, Elly plays shortstop the first game, gets a sombrero. Obviously, you can tell there's something between the ears that's not going very well for that. And then tonight, obviously, breaks out of that huge slump that he's been having of late. DHs at that. And I'm in the proponent that he should take a day off. I'm in the proponent that someone needs to be an adult and tell him to sit down once. We can all do this, right? We go hey, we take a vacation day from work, right? And then when we come back, we're rejuvenated or focused again. We just needed that time away from our desk. And it's obviously different for big leaguers. I get that. But I'm all right with him getting a day off here and there. But I like today, and I get they did it because it's a doubleheader, and they didn't want to have him in the field for 18 innings. But I'm open to this more often. I don't have any issues whatsoever with him DHing, and the way they did the order tonight, where Matt McClain plays short, Sal Stewart plays second base. I like that. I think that's like pretty solid. Not saying every night. Like I'm a firm believer in Elly the shortstop, and like I said, outs above average show you that he is very, very good at his job. He just got to get better at the focus thing, like we talked about after yesterday's game. But I am open to this more often. Like I'm not doing the outfield thing. You guys know how this goes. And I like this. I would use him as a DH, maybe obviously not every night. I think he's done it like 2 or 3 times this year, counting tonight. But I would like to see this a little more often to keep his legs calm. I know he got caught stealing tonight. I'm never going to be mad at him for that because I just realized I saw the Everydayer Club banner up. My apologies. I just got fired up after the break. I'm really never going to get mad at him for getting caught stealing because I'd rather him make the effort. Now, if he gets picked off, yeah, I don't like those. But the nights that he can do that, you take a chance with him. I'm willing to take that chance with him. And he just kind of needs to be used a little bit more sparingly in the field like this. And I think that that's going to help him out there too. Just getting a mental break from that, takes a day where he can kind of rest his legs between every inning, and then goes out there and has a day like today where he turns it around after a horrible game 1 and has a really nice game 2. Goes 2 for 4 with an RBI, has a walk, scores the first run of the game. Yeah, it was nice to see. Talk about some other guys real quick before we get out of here. How about JJ Bleday today, who has been slumping, to put it nicely, goes 3 for 4. I hope that we can get him back to himself because he was so on fire when he got called up in May, and we saw him have a nice, not so good June. He's kind of been an every other month kind of guy, so hopefully he gets going. Something's going on with Gino. 3 for 3 tonight. I feel like Gino's cutting get back to Gino. I know the 250 batting average. Like, look, his last 15 games, he's got a 265 batting average. He's slugging 612. He's got a 356 on base. In that time frame, he does have 18 strikeouts. I don't care about that. He's got 4 homers. He's got 6 walks. He's got 13 hits, and he scored 5 runs. I know he had an error tonight, but I feel like him and Elly are kind of those guys on the team. Like when they're going, the team kind of responds to them. If they have good days, people look at them and they kind of gets the team going. Like I'm not saying anything against Sal Stewart, obviously, here by any stretch, because Sal Stewart is a dude. And I know he had a hit tonight, and I formally believe he should be Rookie of the Year. And I know he's not going to be because JJ Weatherhold plays shortstop, even though Sal Stewart plays multiple positions. So whatever. But really would like to see him kind of get that award, and that's what they really need to see there. Other than that, I feel like it was really just a fun night. Not so fun very day, but really fun night for the Reds, and that was a blast. So we're going to close out here. The Reds are winners in game 2, but they do lose game 1 2-1. And let me go and pull this up real quick so I can read the box score correctly. And game 1, the Cardinals have 2 runs on 7 hits and no errors. The Reds have 1 run on 3 hits and no errors. And Luis Gastelum gets the win for the Cardinals. He is 3-2 with a 5.79 ERA. Kent Emanuel gets the loss. He is 0-1 with a 3.6 ERA. And then Riley O'Brien gets his 31st save of the year. If you had told me in 2021, Riley O'Brien would be getting 30 saves, there's no way I would have believed you. But the Reds do win game 2 tonight, 6-5. The Reds have 6 runs on 11 hits and an error. The Cardinals have 6 runs on 13 hits and an error. The Cardinals have 5 runs on 11 hits and an error. Emilio Pagan gets his 5th win of the year. He's now 5-1, and his ERA is 3.81. Justin Brule gets the loss. He is 0-1 with a 3.26 ERA. And don't forget, the Reds are back at it tomorrow in game 3 of this 5-game series with the Cardinals, as Andrew Abbott takes the hill for the Reds. He is 6-7 with a 4.13 ERA. And Kyle Leahy gets the ball for the Cardinals. He is 9-4, the 338. First pitch will be at 6:40. So I'll be back here tomorrow night. Everyone, thank you again for spending some time with us. Please be sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube or your podcast app of choice. If you are watching on YouTube, I ask politely for you to like the video. It helps us out a lot. And of course, be sure to hit that bell so you get notifications anytime our show goes up, whether it's me after the game or Jeff and Steve Monday through Friday as well. Thanks for making Lock on Reds your first listen. I'm Tim Daniel. Go Red Legs. I'll see you tomorrow.